King Thidrek took great pleasure in hunting with dogs and with hawks. He was so bold and so proud that he rode alone in deserted areas, because he was afraid of no man, nor of any kind of beast, and his good horse Blanca was so fast that no horse could keep up with him. Duke Alibrand gave him the horse, and King Thidrek had now ridden a long way, alone on his hunt. King Hertnid of Bergara was a great warrior. His wife was Isolde. He was such a powerful man that he did not want any kind of companions when he went to hunt animals. He had heard that there was a dragon lying in a certain forest. It had killed many men and generated a great deal of fear. Hertnid wished to ride alone into the forest and either gain fame or be killed. He rode through the forest a day and a night, and the next day he heard something alive in the woods. When he rode out, a fiend came toward him, which challenged him to a great battle. It was a giant serpent, long and stout. It had a great maw and strong legs. And King Hertnid rode at the dragon more out of bravery and honor than out of wisdom, because this dragon was so strong. As soon as they came together, the dragon took him in its claws and carried him to a deep valley where there was a mountain with a large cave. The dragon had there 3 young. It cast the king dead before them, and they devoured his flesh, but the dragon rooted out the armor from its den. Then it was widely told that King Hertnid had ridden out and had not returned. The robbers who lived all around Hunaland heard about this. They gathered a large army of robbers, so that there were 3,000 of them, and they went to King Hertnid's castle and wanted to steal money, since the kingdom there was kingless. King Thidrek was just riding hunting, and he had ridden a long time in the forest with his hawks and hounds. He had heard of these robbers and what they wanted to do, and he wanted to meet them and find out what kind of men they were. He was so doughty that he expected to be able to carry out some kind of great deed. And one time, he was riding through the forest, and he came to a place where there was a large track before him. And he knew that the track had been made by robbers. He followed the track, intending to catch them, and they all rode toward the land that had belonged to King Hertnid. The robbers did not know that King Thidrek was riding after them. He came close enough to see the band of robbers and that they were at the edge of a large forest. And King Thidrek heard in the forest what seemed to be some kind of battle. There were to be heard a great groaning, and heavy blows, and much breaking. Thidrek did not want to ride further until he found out what was going on. He spurred his horse on. He was so bold that he went wherever he was told. And he had not ridden far into the forest when he saw an amazing sight where there was a large trail. A dragon had made that trail. And he rode along the trail until he saw a dragon and a lion fighting fiercely. And this is what he had heard. King Thidrek remembered that he had a lion on his shield, and because of this, he wanted to help the lion. He sprang from his horse and drew his sword and advanced towards the dragon. He struck such a great blow with both hands on its back that the dragon bent to the earth. But now Thidrek paid for having left Thidrekssaga at home, because this sword did not bite, and the hilt broke off, so that the blade fell out of his hands and came down on the other side of the dragon. King Thidrek called out, "Let Holy God help me, since I have served you according to the true faith. This is the first boon I have asked of you. Protect me now, Lord God, and if you do not serve me, then I shall not be saved." He pulled up a large tree with its roots, and at this moment, the dragon became so angry that he took the lion in his mouth, and he wrapped his tail around the middle of King Thidrek and pressed him so tight that he could do nothing against it. And with all of this load, he took off and flew to his lair where the young were. He cast the lion before the young, and they all ate the lion together, and then they were full. And now, when the large dragon was full, he straightened out his tail, and King Thidrek was freed. It was so dark that he could not see him. He ran as quickly as he could to a place where he could avoid the beasts, and now he jumped down, and there were some clothes there. He took up the clothes and found there a sword. He took up the sword and struck so hard against the stone that fire flew up, so that he could now see all around the mountain. And he saw where the old dragon was laying. The young were asleep. He wished now to either gain honor or lose his life. He climbed up to the dragon and struck at its back. The sword bit the dragon and cut the backbone apart. He wielded the sword again and struck again and again until the dragon was dead. He saw where the young were lying, and he did not leave the place until he had killed all of them. And now he saw where all the armor lay. He took all the weapons and the clothes, and then went up out of the valley. He could now see what kind of weapons they were he had found. The byrnie was as bright as silver, and the shield inlaid with gold. He had taken a helmet that shone like glass, and there were 5 carbuncle stones down from the point of the helmet, and he had never seen so much treasure in one helmet. He put it on his head and took all the weapons and armed himself, saying, "God help the man who owned these weapons." After that, he went along the forest for a long time and did not know which was his way. He came to a place where a horse was standing. It was black, and the saddle had come loose and fallen down under its belly. But this horse was the finest, most beautiful, and fairest of horses. And when the horse saw the man, he ran away, but King Thidrek followed him a long time, and he became very sad that he would not be able to catch this horse. He climbed up into the highest tree, and there he tied his shield and his helmet Hildegrim, and also the shield he had taken, and ran after the horse. The horse ran into a valley, and there he was able to catch the horse by the tail. But the horse kicked with both hind feet, and with the other hand he took the foot and pulled so hard that the horse fell down. He was now able to take the horse around the neck and hold him. 12 men would not have been able to take that horse. The horse had broken both saddle bows, and the place where the cinch had gone around the horse was wounded and bloody. He replaced the saddle in spite of its being broken, and the saddle was inlaid with gold. He now rode to the place where the weapons were tied up, and he took them down, but he left his helmet and shield hanging there, and intended to get them another time. It seemed quite likely he would be able to do this, because so few people passed through this forest. So King Thidrek was able to accumulate even more honor for fighting these dragons, just after his friend, Master Hildebrand, and his wife, Herad, had died. And in case you wonder if the mentioned warband made up of robbers from in this episode is going to survive the next episode of the Thidrekssaga, tune in for the next part, back here at the Hall of Sagenheim.